Again? Okay, we're good. All right.
Sorry about that. The skips were trying to make sure that I could hear them on the mic. I didn't mean to blast everybody's eardrums. I figured out their volumes now. I've turned them off for a moment so we can introduce ourselves. This is FL Etlin on the microphone. Sorry in advance for any quirks. I've got Lori Piper operating the cameras to my right. Thank you, Lori. And we are bringing you the Cherry Blossom Bonspiel, which is the 1:45 p.m. draw. Lance Wright's team from Triangle versus Paul Schultz team from Pittsburgh.
Click it up here. Red has the name.
So let's get right. We are up and running. Triangle will have the hammer, and they are shooting red. Pittsburgh's first shot is a lovely guard, just off the center line. Nicely down the ice. The ice has been really nice so far this weekend. I was a little concerned for my game yesterday evening that the heat of the day and the rain was making the ice a little frosty, humid, but it was actually lovely conditions last night, and so far it's been looking great out there today. Second rock is a tight guard. Center into two corner guards. So we got lots of corner guards in play and nothing blocking up the middle just yet. So I understand that the lead for Triangle, this is her first Bonspiel. This is Kate Stewart. Welcome to Potomac, and we're glad you're your first Bonspiel, Kate. That second rock is just a little bit heavy. Slide to the back of the house and the back 10 foot if there's such a thing. It's biting the 12-foot ring in the back of the house there. So I know that our camera view of the far house is in black and white. I don't know why. Sorry for that. So the rock that's currently in the house is the red rock that was just delivered by Kate. Pittsburgh rock. Pittsburgh shooting yellow. This is only appropriate. Sliding into the house here. Now I do have Lori Piper sitting silently to my right. She does have a mic on. She's waving. We're going to work on that through the course of the day. Pittsburgh wound up with a hopefully you can hear me okay. I may have to pull out my phone and look online and see if anybody's commenting on the volume levels. I know sometimes we have issues getting that sorted out, and I don't have the live stream chat window up. Oh, but we do, so mic is very low, sister. Thank you. Hopefully that's a little bit better, Vernon. You can check back with us, let us know. So as I mentioned earlier, when the mic was low, we know that that far view of the house is in black and white. So currently yellow is shot in it's about the back 8 foot there. And then there's a red rock in the very back of the house on the center line, just biting the 12 foot, between the 8 and the 12 foot. Sue Mitchell now sliding out. She's throwing vice for triangle. Originally this was supposed to be Ken Cato, but I understand he had to have some surgery, so we are hoping that he's listening in and also recovering well. Oh, just whipped off that guard and didn't quite get the wick far enough out to get that yellow rock. Paul Schultz calling for a draw into the house for Team Pittsburgh. This is the last second stone for Team Pittsburgh. Daphne Roberts delivering. Looks like it's a little bit light for the job and curls quite a bit. It winds up on the center line. Shuffles things around down there, but doesn't do a whole lot of difference. Sue Mitchell sliding out, throwing red for triangle. And I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. Daphne is actually throwing vice rocks for Team Pittsburgh. It's early yet for me. I haven't quite woken up today. So the situation in the house at the moment, red is shot. Yellow is in the back of the very back of the 8 foot, followed by then there's a red rock that's biting the 12 foot in the back. So red is currently the shot rock, sitting 1. Daphne sliding out for her second vice rock. We're calling up for line. Hoping that's going to curl back just a bit. It's moving. Looks like she's going to get a nose hit. And just wiggle things around in the back. So yellow, Pittsburgh is currently shot. And I think that now the red rock on the center line in the back may be second shot. Yeah, it looks like they got it by a couple of inches over the yellow rock that's just to the right of the red rock there. So Pittsburgh is sitting 1 and 3. Triangle sitting 2 and 4. Sue's asking for them to adjust the broom, saying she needs less ice. Her rock's halfway down the sheet. They're sweeping to hold it. Held it enough to hit that shot rock, but the shooter also rolls out. So if I'm correct at the moment, triangle's now 1 and 3. Pittsburgh is a very close second shot. All of these hit back in the back 12. Plenty of room to work. still trying to adjust my volumes. I've moved the mic in closer to my face. Appreciate your patience while we sort out those kinks. We're up to skip stones here in the first end with the Schultz rink from Pittsburgh versus the Triangle rink with Lance Wright. This is Pittsburgh's first skips rock. Triangle has the hammer. Sweepers are on it, almost out of his hand. Working very hard. It looks pretty light. They're trying to draw in here. I don't think they're going to get it very far here. They've just got it past the hog line. Really, it's a one guard in the middle of that space there. Not an ideal shot. Needed just a little bit more. It's first end, though. First end ice, figuring out the ice.
Putting a tap back on that outside red. I don't want to hit the yellow and tap him in, but I want to angle raise that red backwards so that it's going to stop him from getting in. Left, yeah, the left side red.
There you hear Lance talking his strategy. The plus and the minus.
It's weird.
Don't want to tap them in. That sounds pretty smart to me. And the first triangle skips rock is away. Sweepers are on it right out of his hand. Sue's calling yes for line.
Oh, that is stiff out there.
First end ice.
Let it die.
So they have stopped sweeping, and that is a hogged rock. Lance, I'll direct your attention to the piggy banks by the hog line. We appreciate your donation to the Potomac Curling Club. Thank you. I'm just joking. He's a guest from out of town. We would not expect him to put money into the piggy bank for hogging that rock. Speaking of which, I think I owe the piggy bank a few from last week. They were talking times. They're asking for a 3-5 or a 3-4 split. For those of you who time, that makes perfect sense. For those of you who don't, let's just say it's a one of the many ways to help your team be more precise in how much weight they throw, how hard they throw this rock. They were able to sneak that through a pile of guards, and actually it may be Pittsburgh's shot right now. It's hard to tell. I think that Pittsburgh rock that just split onto the top of the house may just be out counting the triangle rock at the very back of the house on the center line. Either way, there's still lots of room in there in the house. Nothing is even full 8. Oh, good. I'm glad the volume's better now, Vernon. Thank you very much. So here comes Lance for his second shot. This is the hammer. He's going to have to learn from his first rock and give it a little more oomph and see if he can find draw weight here in the first end. Sue's calling for sweeping right away. Sweepers are working hard. Came up just a little bit short. Did better throw than last time, added a bit, but was trying to be careful not to overthrow, which is so easy to do. Came up just a little short. And so they're deciding, we'll see if I'm right or wrong on the scoring. They're looking at the rocks. So Daphne has indicated she believes it's the Pittsburgh yellow rock. They're going to measure. So first end, we already have a measure. This is very exciting for those, official geeks in the room. I'd love to see a good measure. Of course, I'm very particular about my measures, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut on any technique and just look forward to finding out the results here. My prediction is that this is a Pittsburgh score of 1. That's yellow, but it's really hard to tell. Our camera that I can see from overhead, and I'm sorry we can't show you. Our overhead views are not working with our system at this Bonspiel. They seem to be crashing the system if we try to use them. So you're just going to have to pretend, if you would, that you're watching the overhead view. It's very exciting of this measure. As I said, my prediction is that it's the Pittsburgh Yellowstone, but it's awfully close, and I think it's a good rocks to measure that's worth pulling out the device. Either way, this is just going to be a score of 1 on the first end. Okay, so they've gotten their measure on the red rock in the back, and they're sliding the device around clockwise, as is appropriate. Well done, ladies. They're taking a second look at the measure against the yellow there. And they're pointing. I'm not sure what they're pointing at. It seems to be pretty close. They're really taking a close look here. They're going to swing around and just double check. It must have been a close measure. They're looking again at the red in the back. And Sue has indicated it is yellow for Pittsburgh. So my prediction was accurate, but it was really close. So that's going to be a score of 1 for Pittsburgh, 1 for yellow. Wasting no time, Leonard Jarabek is in the hack, cleaning his rock and ready to go. I do love ready play. Well done. So we're trying to figure out why our scoreboard says that red scored when it was yellow. We're going to just have to fix that. I guess we just do it backwards. Call it 1 yellow and see what happens. Let's see. Lori Piper is womaning the scoreboard and the cameras and everything else. Does that fix it? All right, well, that's magic. We're just going to pretend the label that says red says yellow and vice versa, and we've got that sorted out. Hopefully it shows correctly on your screens at home. I'm sure it does. That was a score of 1 for yellow. Kate now sliding out for triangle. She's coming out right on the center line. Sue Mitchell just doing a little gentle cleaning. The rock is just holding pretty straight on the center line. Now it's starting to move. That really held quite straight considering she pretty much came down the center line on her delivery. That's really only moved, a foot and a half there. Lovely weight though. That's a great guard. Good throw, Kate. All right, Paul has called for a draw. I'm going to see if I can get the crowd to switch the cameras for us.
Pardon me. Could you push the number 1 button for me? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Very helpful crowd. I'm a little too short. It's really ugly if I have to jump up and down to try to hit the button. Thankfully, we got friends in the warm room. We use brooms sometimes, but I'm afraid I'd hit you in the head. It's easier to get you to do it. Oh, maybe that's how I do it, right? Whack. Then you move it? Good. All right, looks like that draw went just a tiny bit deep there, just behind the tee line. Still a nice throw. I didn't see the call, but I expect they're probably just trying to freeze down to this yellow one, or maybe move it back a little bit. Looked like it may have been a little narrow out of Kate's hand, although I don't have an ideal angle for that. So we're looking like plan B is going to be maybe tapping up the red that she just put into play, or maybe just freezing to it. Let's see. She's got enough oomph to move it a half a rock width away. Paul calling for another draw, looking for top 4 this time instead of back 4. That looks like he got out of the broom. Maybe even plus a little bit. Again, not my ideal angle. The sweepers have not touched this rock at all. It must be a little bit hot. Looks like it's sliding deep in the house. And Lance is ready to, they're going to work together to bring that to the back of the house, and then nobody sweeps it. Little game of how far back do you want the rock to go. All right, they're going to try again for the freeze. Oh, Vernon. I'm just looking over at the chat window. Please feel free to log in to live stream and post in our chat, where we'll try to glance from time to time. So far, we have a solo chatter of my husband, but he's helping very much with the volume and funny comments. So tune in, chat away. That was a pretty good rock. Moved, came down and just tapped very slightly, but that definitely leaves an opening for them to Pittsburgh to throw their rock down and just come to the inside of the red rock that just came to rest and flop behind cover or corner freeze to it. Looks like this has the weight to actually move things. They're not talking to freeze with this weight. They're hoping the rock is going to curl a bit more. This is a very restful end so far for these sweepers. Might be able to just move everything here. Yep. Everything's on the move. Good shot. Shook it up, and currently Pittsburgh's sitting 2. Triangle is third shot, all of them in the very back 12-foot. So again, we have a stealing house set up here. Lots of things behind the tee. Lori Piper is determined not to talk. She's got her microphone up above her ears, but she's giving me a thumbs up, so she's still busily pushing buttons to keep her cameras moving. Doing a fine job. I'm glad she's doing that, not me. She has to look at buttons and cameras. I get to watch the actual curling action. Speaking of which, this red rock looks like it might be just a little narrow. I think we're just going to add another red rock to the pile of red guards at this point. They're trying hard to hold it out. Okay, well, corner froze to the center line yellow guard, so that's not bad. Luckily, coming this direction, you can see the color, so I don't have to describe which rock is which quite so much. Welcome to all you people who are tuned in online. I'm sure we have a huge number right now. I can't see you. Oh, we have 18 watching. Thank you for joining us. I guess we count as one, so that's 17 others. Thank you very much for tuning in to watch some curling action. This again is the Schultz team from Pittsburgh versus the Wright team from Triangle. This is a second event matchup, I think. Is that right? Yes, these teams are in the second event. They both lost their first matches, and now they're on our featured sheet. That will be the same with the game at 4 o'clock. These will also be folks that are in the second event, including me and Lori Piper. Feel free to tune in and cheer us on as well. And we'll be playing a team from San Francisco. So it'll be a Potomac team versus a San Francisco team, the Coastal Battle at 4 p.m. Sue Mitchell in the hack for Triangle. See if they can draw behind this pile of guards we got. It's quite a fortress they've built. Somebody needs to get in there and utilize it. Sweepers are on it, starting about halfway down the ice. Sue's calling encouragement to them. Paul's calling for a freeze of that red rock that is in the top 8 foot.
Or is there stuff in that class?
Daphne taking aim, sliding out for Pittsburgh. Sweepers on it about a quarter of the way down the sheet. They're already working hard.
Freeze, guys. We need a 5. These.
It might be just a little heavy bumping.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just a tiny bit heavy, nudging that triangle rock behind cover and to the tee line. It's not an ideal result there. Not an ideal result, but just a little bit heavy. You heard Paul yelling 5. He was calling for a specific place. If you go online, if you're not familiar with that 10-point locational system we use to reference how deep the rocks are in the house and as guards, you can go online and Google that. I think that was made popular by Randy Furby's rink. And now mostly everybody uses it if they're going to use anything.
And this happens to line up with all the Bonspiels and all of the holiday 1/8.
Sweepers are sweeping, but not really putting their all into that. Now they're starting to actually scrub here at the end. Looks like that rock might also be just sailing a bit further than they expected. I think now that we're deep into the second end, our ice is starting to get up to speed, and those rocks are sliding a little deeper than they were expecting. Paul Schultz calling for a draw. He's just trying to get into the button.
We need to play. Can't do what they're about to do. No, they're going to hit and roll. Drawing?
Yeah.
All right.
If it hits roll, we lose the shoot.
Well, it depends how thick you hit it. We just need to move that out of the way and prevent them from doing any hit and roll of the button.
That's a good conversation
'Cause we only
between
got one
Lance
counter
and
right now.
Sue out there. Sue is correct. He has called for the draw and not the hit and roll.
Yeah. It's basically like a one-trick pony. We're pulling the same shot down the same line every time.
So
Like
two
getting
of
back home.
our viewers are Courtney Shaw. Courtney, that's okay. It's one for you and one for Melvin. We're going to give you credit. Credit for
Hands
one
out
each,
there.
unless you want to take
To
both.
the last possible
That's
minute.
okay too. They're just going to rub off their own and roll towards the center. Not quite into shot
All right,
position,
so they
but
got
good
the
shot.
potential for a couple of raises.
Let's listen to Lance here.
You want to?
Sounds like his mic is breaking up a little bit. I'm going to bring his volume back down. It's not really helping as much. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe his battery's getting low in there. I was able to hear him very well just a few minutes ago.
I think it's 7. Yeah, just need a tiny bit more curl.
Paul and Leonard talking about the previous shot, saying that, you know, he had pretty good weight, but it just needed to curl a bit more. I think that's a good summary of what happened in that shot. Ended up rubbing off the yellow and kind of splitting there in the top 8 instead of getting down to the button where they needed to be. Right, so Lance has let his rock go, and they're sweeping right away for the line. Sue's called them off halfway down and then back on. She's trying to tweak the placement of this rock just a bit. Okay, good shot, good call. Didn't even jam in the back. That's impressive considering how many catchers are back there.
Thanks.
So that was
hangs out there. Doesn't matter what speed, it hangs out there. Well, he's playing with fire if he tries to tap that back, because he could just end up giving us 2, and I can try for 3.
Yeah. He taps it close. It's hard to get to.
so. Of course, Triangle has the hammer here. They're trying to see what they can do to get multiple points. Paul Schultz going down to shoot his last rock of this end, the second end. The warm room is starting to warm up a little bit, starting to get a little noisier behind us. That's always good. People are piling in for the afternoon games. Of course, if you are local to the area, we do invite you to come down to the Potomac Curling Club. If you'd like to watch some curling in person, you can support the bar. We have some great raffle items. The atmosphere in the war room is infectiously fun. This is a lovely shot coming in. If they could just move this rock enough. Moving in. Oh, good shot. It came up just a little bit short, but it should prevent them from getting very many points here. I don't think that there's much they can do to actually get in for a second point, except maybe draw in. Well, I don't think they're going to come back. I think Lance agrees with that as well.
So, all right, you got it like way up here. And
they're just going to try the draw just to see if it comes back from out there. Now, in the previous game, it was cutting hard on this side, but remember, this is earlier on in the end. I'm not sure if the curl is quite there yet, but hey, why not try it? It's the same as throwing it away, and maybe it'll curl in there to get a second point. I don't think you can hurt it. Famous last words.
It's going to be a free. Your angle raise that other. Where's the one?
Lance confirming to his team that they're currently sitting 1. That's 1 for Triangle right now, and they're trying to draw in for a second point. I'm not quite sure that's a makeable shot from here, although it was curling nice in the last game, so we'll see. At the very least, he's going to work on getting his draw weight zeroed in for the remaining part of this game. Sweepers are on it. It's probably going to stay out wide, but they're working on getting the weight down. Looks like that's a 3-guard. So that's going to be 1 for Triangle to tie it up. It's now going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh will have the hammer as we go into the third end. See the Courtney saying that Melvin is actually in California, so one of those connections she's running cannot be credited to him. So Courtney, way to go, pushing our viewership up single-handedly, or, you know, two-handedly, two-devisedly. Here, I'm just gonna. All right, turned off that one.
They're all wrong. I can't figure out how to fix it.
Okay, well, we'll just keep you informed as to what the actual scores are. I'm gonna have to take a look and see if I can figure out who's playing on which sheets and start giving you score updates elsewhere. I'm not sure who's playing where, so I can tell you the colors and the points, but that's not gonna help you any. I might have to go on a fact-finding mission here early in the end. In fact, I am. I'm gonna go ahead and put down my headset for a moment, let you just watch the action while I collect information about other sheets. And I'll be back in just a moment. If Lori wants to talk, she can, but so far there hasn't been much action for the chatty side of Lori.
Go ahead. Good? Okay. I think I heard something about this before, so.
Give us a guard up front, Kate.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not paying attention. Just nice. Got
Yeah.
Like back house. Just a little. Whoa. This is Virginia, is the yellow.
Make sure it's here. If you're that's all right. Come on. Position.
Lots of line. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, $20 in one pay. I shot it. Annualize that interest. Wait up, Taylor. Annualize that over.
It's got to come in. It's got to come in a lot. It's going to jam if it hits at all. Okay.
All right, I'm back here at the mic. This is FL Etlin, broadcasting here at the Cherry Blossom. We're in the third end, and I know that you're seeing a black and white view of the house, so let me just bring you up to speed on who's where. There are 3 rocks in the house.
Yeah.
The rock that's in the 4-foot is a yellow Pittsburgh rock. The other 2 rocks are both triangle rocks.
Yeah.
They're both in the 8-foot. One of them on the center line, on the tee line on the 8-foot, and the other one at the center line in the back 8.
Who's he calling a hack?
So Pittsburgh's currently sitting shot. And Pittsburgh has hammer in this end. We're in a tied game, 1-1.
I thought about it. I wanted to balance
Just ticked the guard. Got a little bonus action on the side there. Protected the neighboring sheet. protected the action on sheet C. Thank you for that. Well done. Good catch. So an update for you on sheet A. The Long Island Curling Club, skipped by Michael Green, is currently up 6-0 over Pittsburgh's Dan Bliss.
To come across the face.
It's early. It's early, Dan. Stick in there.
If we can spill it through the port, that's great. If we lose the back rock, well, okay.
Good discussion by Lance there. You know, trying to pick that Pittsburgh rock out, and if he jams, oh well. Just trying to kind of pick that out through the port.
Here it comes, a little more. Yep.
Looks like they got a
Nice one.
nice shot. They're going to lose their shooter, but objective completed. And to continue our updates on sheet C, the broom shooter team from Columbus Curling Club is up 5-0 on sheet C over the Burke rink from Virginia. And on sheet D, they have not hung the score from the second end, so I'll just give you an update when they do hang it. I guess I could give you the first end update, even though they're already into the third, and that is that in the first end, the Chicago team, currently skipped by Aaron Horowitz, is up 1-0 over the Potomac rink, skipped by Kurt Medlin. And when they hang another score, I'll look back there eventually. So we got a draw into the house by Pittsburgh, and they are going to be shot. They're not quite.
Punch it out again, Sue?
They're not quite biting the 4-foot. They're in the top 8.
All right.
And Lance is called for another hit by Sue Mitchell from Triangle. They're taking about a rock's width worth of ice here, trying to punch that yellow rock through the space between the two triangle rocks in the back.
It's a little wide.
Calling it, it's a little wide.
Might get some magic off that front rock.
And they're looking for a bit of plan B action. Sweeping for the wick. They took out the top yellow rock, which was not a scoring, it was biting. It's no longer biting. And their shooter rolls away as well. So we're still sitting with Pittsburgh sitting first shot just above the 4-foot. And then Triangle sitting 2 and 3.
Okay.
Daphne Roberts from Pittsburgh sliding out to deliver their vice rock.
Amount of ice to get it nose hit.
Sweepers are on it right away. Working hard to hold that rock out, trying to hold it out so they don't move their own yellow, but get to the red. They're going to wick off their own rock and actually punch it onto the button, but the shooter rolls out. They repositioned that triangle rock off the tee line to back 4, although it's in the 8-foot, you know, off to the right of the 4-foot.
I'll do back line or hack weight.
I do a little bit more because you can be, you just don't want to.
Yeah, it cuts across. Okay, fair enough.
We're talking about how much the rock will cut coming this direction, discussing where to place the broom, which direction to come at a hit, at a draw from, excuse me. I suspect they're actually going to tap this back.
Just a backline weight, angle, cut across that yellow and drive it even a couple feet back. I don't need to take it out of the house. It just has to not out-count our existing reds.
So Lance is going to be trying to throw backline weight, he said. Just trying to tap the Pittsburgh Yellowstone off the button and back into the side a bit and keep his shooter around. Sliding out. Sue is calling the sweepers up, waiting for this rock to bend. Looks like it might be a little light for the shot. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. Sue's sweeping hard, having the sweepers sweep hard. That rock is actually going to be more like just a freeze or a tap. Just move the Pittsburgh stone back to the back button. Pittsburgh is still shot. Triangle is in the top 4, second shot, and has 2 more rocks in the back of the house in the 8-foot.
I thought it was like plenty of weight.
So Lance is having trouble.
This sheet's running a lot slower than the other one.
Lance is saying that he feels like this ice is running slower than his previous game on another sheet.
Not a bad lie right now.
It's up to the third end now,
See what
so
they do.
it's time
They'll
to
either guard it or they'll glide
adapt.
another one onto the button. If they do that, he's toast. No, I'll nail him.
No, that.
Lance is confident in his hitting abilities today. He's having a discussion with Sue, talking about what happens if this shot and that shot, like you do. Curling is a game of strategy. You have to think ahead a couple moves. You can't, well, more than that if you can. Paul Schultz following his rock down. The sweepers are not touching it till the very end. Now they're starting to sweep once they've passed the hog line, starting to break. They're trying to freeze to that top 4 foot, and really what they're going to do is just come back to one of the rocks in the back. Okay.
Ping, ping. If I miss, at least I get one of them.
Lance is talking about trying for the double takeout.
Yeah, the pitch on that one.
Yeah. So do a little ricochet rabbit here. All right.
I like that
what's the
phrase.
line?
He's going to try for a ricochet rabbit,
Yeah, up the weight,
says
obviously,
Lance.
from last time.
So he's trying to come with enough weight that he can
Okay.
tick the yellow rock that is on the back button and wick off that a little bit to our right.
We're going to wick off shot rock and drive the other rock out.
And drive the other rock out.
No, a double.
Going for a double. I don't think he's going to remove that rock
Any
that's
luck
currently
we
on
can
the
nose
button
that
if he
back one to
manages
stick-
that shot. I think he'll
stick the
move it to the
shooter, but-
side, hopefully enough
Not good
to
odds.
sit 1 or 2. I mean, I suppose you could move that enough to... I don't think you're going to be able to get to the back of those 2 yellow rocks with any accuracy unless you really just skinny that
too
rock
heavy.
that's on the button. Let's see how he does here. It looks like it's staying well wide. He's going to get the 1 in the back. He's going to do a little cleanup there. So Pittsburgh is still sitting
kind of damage
shot
you got?
on the back of the button.
All right, so he has to make like a real miracle draw in order to get his 2.
Lance says that it's a miracle draw to get 2. I'm not sure that I agree. That's a pretty wide open draw. He just has to draw
He's already dialed in on it. So
the button.
we'll see.
He's got the button plus half a rock.
It's not a gimme.
As Lance says, it's not a gimme, but it's a very makeable shot. There's no guards in the way.
I out just a bit. I wanted to up the weight from what I've been doing, but I overcooked it. Yeah.
Because those other ones chicken around would have, I don't know where they were at, but they had that.
Mm-hmm.
That
Right.
So Pittsburgh with the hammer here is trying to draw for 2. They're currently sitting 1 on the back button.
Your house.
Paul Schultz likes to follow his rocks down. He's right behind his rock, scooting down the ice. Sweepers are on it now. Sweeping hard. Some good sweeping out there.
Too late.
They've come up so they don't tap the red in. So it's going to be another 1-point end. Pittsburgh regaining the lead here, 2-1 after 3. Updating your scores on sheet A. The Long Island Curling Club continues to have a very good game and are up 9-0 after 3. They're shooting the yellow rocks on sheet A in case there's anybody who needs to keep track of which rocks are winning out here. On sheet C, the Broom Shooter Club from Columbus, who did a broom shooter shot before the game, I might add, seems to be doing well as they're up 8-0 after 3, shooting red rocks on sheet C. And on sheet D, it looks like the Chicago Curling Club stole 2 in the second to be up 3-0 after 2, and they're well into the third, but I don't think they've hung that third end score or that, or there's some people in the way. We'll look back there in a little bit. So the first rock of our 4th end here on our featured sheet B is a biter. Pittsburgh slid just a little deep.
Let's get rid of it.
Lance calling for the hit. This is Kate Stewart's first away Bonspiel, and we have not gotten to see her shoot a hit yet, so we'll see how she does here. Calling for a hack weight hit. Nice controlled weight. And since this is her first away Bonspiel, I think this is probably her first time curling on dedicated ice, because of course Pittsburgh plays on arena ice. Sweepers are on it. Looks like the weight's a little down. I'm just going to reposition those rocks a little bit. That's not a terrible result, though. Tapping the Pittsburgh rock back to the around the tee line. I'm going to see if my friends in the warm room can push the button for me again. Thank you very much. Thumbs up from the crowd. Yes, that rock is just behind the tee line. Leonard asking for clarification of what shot Paul wants. Paul Schultz calling for the guard. Leonard's a little bit tight on that. Paul's calling the sweepers on right away to try to hold that rock closer to the center line. He's calling for over and up, so as soon as the rock would be over the hog line, please stop sweeping, and the sweepers listen very well on that, and they are up. Looks like it's going to be a 2-yard. It's half covering the
right in, Kate. You got a backer.
Half covering that rock that's just behind the tee. Lance is calling for a freeze to the yellow rock that's just beyond the tee line here. Thank you, Mike Turlo. I'm glad, Chip, that you enjoyed the black and white classic view of our farmhouse.
Narrow.
We're glad you came to join the party, or at least the home game version.
Just let it go. We don't want to give them a.
So this was a little bit tighter than they expected, and the weight was nice for the shot. Unfortunately, they drive the yellow rock, the yellow guard that Leonard had just put into place, into the top 12. Paul decides to call for another guard, this one on the center line. Protect against the double takeout here. Sweepers maybe taking that a little deeper than they had in mind here. It looks like it's still sliding pretty good as he comes in past the hog. It's going to come all the way into the house, I think. Maybe just freeze to that top 12 rock. Almost frozen. About a rock's width between them.
Clear the center, Mike.
Lance calling immediately to clear the center.
Give me enough weight for a double.
Looking for enough weight for a double. I know I'm repeating exactly what he said. I'm not sure if you can hear the mic skip very well. His battery problem or whatever it was seems to have sorted itself out, because I've been hearing him pretty clearly lately. I really haven't heard anything from Paul much. I don't think he's chatting a lot regarding strategy, or maybe his mic's a little softer. That's a nice shot. So Pittsburgh still sitting 2 here.
Take it out. I'm going to try and block our raises. It's a little heavy, though. It's going to backfire on him.
Yeah. We'll have options.
You got it?
So this looks like it might actually tap a red rock, unless it stays out wider than I think it is. Nope, it's going to come in and just tap a red rock up. I don't think it's going to tap it into shot position, but it's going to move it into the 12-foot. Just a little bit. Biter.
All right, Mike, let's get rid of it.
Lance calling for another hit. going for the one that is the current shot rock.
Just an easy takeout, nothing nuclear.
An easy takeout, nothing nuclear. I'm glad we have a mic out there for Lance. He's pretty entertaining. I just have to figure out why Paul's isn't picking up. Maybe I have him too quiet. Maybe he's not saying anything.
Yes.
It's a connection lost.
Yes,
dear.
yes.
Connection lost. That's not good. I don't know how to fix
across
that.
too far, we're gonna get that guard. No. Okay.
Ah, there's your mouse. Just, we may have had a brief pause there. I hope people out in chat land will holler that they can still hear us and see us.
Clearing out the center.
So Paul calling for, so plan A is the guard, plan B is the draw. I was actually able to hear Paul that time, so I guess he's finally vocalizing. Or vocalizing loudly enough for me. Daphne is now aware that the pro side is the guard, but if it slips in, that's okay, nothing wrong with the draw. Looks like she was just a tiny bit narrow, and the sweepers were on that rock pretty well right away. Paul calling for them to continue to sweep. Sweep all the way. Looks like it's going to be a 3 guard. Trying to drag that over towards the center line just a little bit. Didn't quite get there to cover it. It's a nice 3 guard. It's just
punch it back, Sue.
Over about a foot further than they would like. Lance calling for the hit. Sue Mitchell in the hack for triangle. He's giving her a lot of ice for a hit, so he must want something pretty controlled here. That or it's starting to bend more than I realize. We'll see how it goes. Sue looks like she's pretty well on the broom.
Wide. It's got to come in. And it ain't coming in. Yep.
Calling for the plan B. Going for the promote.
Hold the line, hold the line.
Trying for promote, take out. Not quite able to hold it out. Lance thinks that Sue was a little bit wide on that shot. I couldn't tell from this angle, but either way, I think it was maybe too much ice for that shot to start with. Paul's going to try to take advantage and just put up a guard, a 2.5 guard, just to try to protect that very scared yellow rock that's been quivering behind the tee line. I'm glad that our connection is still good. Thank you very much for reporting back in there, Mike or Chip and Karen. A little scary when we have a connection lost message pop up for a second. We're working to try to bring you this broadcast, but I got to admit that it is our first time doing this broadcast, Lori and myself, that is, and our technical knowledge of the setup is a little scanty, just a bit less. So that was not quite a guard. That actually froze down to the shot rock. So now Pittsburgh's sitting 3. I do like to say sometimes the best guard's another shot, but I'm not sure that's the case right now. Lance has learned and has taken much less ice than last time, about 1.5 foot less, I think. And Sue is in the hack and ready to throw her second vice rock for triangle this end.
Yes. All the way.
Lance calls them on right away.
Come on. Okay.
Encouraging his sweepers. Calls them up. Looks like they're going to roll out here, nice, but they may also get both yellow ones. Nice shot. So now Pittsburgh is sitting only 1. And there is a biter for triangle at the very top of the house.
Beautiful.
Paul wasting no time and scooting down to the hack to throw his first skip stone. So the score was posted there on D. Chicago continues to steal and is up 6-0 after 3. I'm glad that Sheet B is a competitive game for us right now. The other sheets are a little less so. We're starting to see the events shake themselves out here.
Is it gonna bend? Oh.
Sweepers are working hard to hold this out around the guard, trying to draw
nice
and
shot.
split the house.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Good sweeping all the way.
The T-line. Let's try the run back.
That comes to the
It's a
top
tight
4.
angle. I can catch a piece of it if I come the other way.
Lance is trying to decide if he should do the run back or just
pick it
catch
out
a
of there.
piece by going clean through the port. Either way, that was a lovely shot by Paul Schultz there.
All right. So it only bends at really low speed and only at the last moment. So I'm probably better off going here. Think so? Well, at slow speed it bends, but we've tried it this way before and it really doesn't bend that much. But yeah, I only have to catch a piece of it, so, but I'm gonna come hot. Right there. As long as I don't, well, even if I wake off one of those guys. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that could happen? That's always a great question to ask.
I can still see half a rock, so I'm going to pick him out of there. Trouble is the line. It bends at the very last second. But I'm going hot. The only way you can get it to come across that much is with that very, very light draw touch. All right.
Sue's calling off right away. Whoa, whoa, she yells. Now she's got them back on. Looking for the run back here, I think. Ooh, nope, they're trying to get through the port still. They got this.
Guard.
Oh, just wicks off the guard. She thought that she thought she had it.
Swept that the whole way. Thanks.
Okay, Pittsburgh's calling for the guard. They are sitting 2. They want to protect that rock that's currently on the top 4 because it would be pretty easy to hit that guy. They're just trying to cover up, protect what they've got, and make this hammer shot harder. So Pittsburgh is throwing their last rock of the end, this 4th end. Currently sitting 2. Rock looks like it's coming in maybe a little harder than they want. Oh, let's dig in, sit down. Might wind up, yeah, it's a guard, it's a 3. Okay, good shot.
Kind of screws things up.
Lance says that it kind of messes up his plan. So that's a good guard, nice throw.
You got to see what it's like down there.
I generally think Skip's favorite shot. If you can throw a guard, it's not all bad. Pittsburgh's in a good spot on this end, that's for sure.
2? Well, I don't want to steal 2.
Lance does not want to give up a steal of 2 here, he says.
That's I don't know if that's doable because it bends
Thank
so
you,
much
Chip.
this
I
way
appreciate the compliment that we're
after it
doing well
crosses that
here.
tick mark up
I don't
there in
know
front
that
of
I'm
the
ready
house.
for Chip Chat. That's
how he got here.
That's the big leads indeed. I'll stick with the
And
minors.
even if I pulled
The
a miracle
daytime
double, we're still leaving him with 1.
live webcast of the
So,
Cherry Blossom Bonspiel.
those aren't raisable.
Lance going through his options here, realizing that his red rocks are not
All right, I
well
guess that's
lined
all I
up
got
for
is the
a
port.
raise, and the only thing he's got is the port. At the very least, he doesn't want to give up a steal of 2.
Need lots of ice. No, that's not going to work.
Sue's trying to figure out the drag
Too
possibilities
much of a Hail Mary. Let's try to come through the board.
Lance does not like the option. It's too early for him to get all crazy with trying to hit red rocks and get drag forces and get them going at weird angles.
The very last moment, and only at slow speed.
Because, yeah, it's not the speed, it's more
Yeah. Right.
So he's going to try to just get through that port and move that yellow one enough to get a point out of this. Sue's cleaning up a little debris, making sure the path is clear. It's not a huge port to go through. He's only got about
really.
1 3/4 rocks width to get through, maybe 2. I don't think 2. 1 3/4 is my guess.
Double, it still leaves him with 1.
That's not a big port. Not when the things that you would accidentally tap are all the wrong colors. So he's got to be very precise here. Sliding out, rocks away. Sue's called the sweepers on right away. They're working hard to try to hold this rock. They're doing a good job sweeping. Hard all the way, guys. Hard all the way. Try to get through that port. Really hard. Gonna just wick off. And Sue is trying to sweep it up to cut him down, but she was not able to make that wick work for them. And that's a steal of 2. Pittsburgh stealing 2 here in the 4th. That means that our current score is going to be Pittsburgh 4, Triangle 1.
As long as there were only 2 and I didn't push that one in.
After 4.
Yeah. I was a little narrow.
So Pittsburgh will be up in the hack again. Leonard's
narrow on the
getting ready.
Too.
All right, we got the scoreboard figured out. Good job, Lori Piper. Well done.
Take a bunch of wins. Sounds impossible. I mean, unlikely.
Okay, Leonard is sliding out, trying to throw the lead rock here. I didn't look at the call to see if they're going in the house or if they're sticking with guards. I know I should have been paying attention, but I was watching things on the camera side. Looks like it's a guard there. Maybe my friends can press the button again for us. Outstanding. Thank you very much. So Pittsburgh has a very nice, very nearly centerline guard set in place. Kate is delivering the first rock for the Triangle team, which has Hammer here in the 5th end. You know, this is hard work to be the solo announcer. Sometimes there's a second person and you can have like a little repertoire, a little chat back and forth. I think I may have guilted my friend into putting the microphone near her face.
The microphone is near my face.
Oh, good. Here, we're going to move it a little closer, too. Mwahaha. All right, that's exciting. There was actually another voice on the mic other than random skips and stuff, you know. Thank you for that, Lori. I feel connected. We almost had a little bit of extra yellow rock action back there. Sheet C was donating a rock, but I think Triangle rejected their offer and sent the yellow rock back where it came from. Sweepers are working hard on this second lead rock for Pittsburgh. And they've converted their not quite a centerline guard to a centerline guard, and they have a bonus corner guard. So there's a lot of yellow up front already, along with that lovely red guard. Guards all around so far. Kate's about to deliver the second lead rock for Triangle. And of course, I believe we have probably a pretty educated curling audience out here based on the people in the chat line, so we all know that there's nothing to be hit, even if we wanted to just yet, because these are still the lead rocks. And they're all guards up there, so the free guard zone rule is in effect. You can reposition them, but you can't remove them. Not until the seconds get up to play. All right. So Kate just taps up the yellow centerline guard just a bit. So we have 2 centerline guards. The one closest to the playing house is yellow, and the one closest to the delivering house is the red rock. I know you're working with a black and white view there, so I'm trying to remember to tell you which color is which. On the right side of your screen, as you're looking at the house, is a red guard, and the left side is a yellow guard. And right now, Pittsburgh's trying to go through the port, I think. They're making it through. And will it stop? That's the question. Looks like it's maybe a little deep, but it's going to stick around to the back of the house. It's going to be in the back 4 foot. Dug right in.
Right
nice.
in there, Mike.
Good shot. Well buried. Triangle is just going to follow him down, see if they can get a little bit better. I don't know if it's planning or not, but I noticed that the front end for Triangle is wearing red shirts, and they're playing red. So good color coordination. Looks like this rock's a little bit wider and maybe a little bit heavier. Rock may just keep on rolling this time. Well, it's also going to stick around in the back. It's going to be more like back 8, though. Okay, so we have 2 rocks behind the tee line yet again. This one is, we have a Pittsburgh at the back of the 4, the yellow rock, and then a Triangle Rockets in the back of the 8 foot. Pittsburgh's second. Trying again to go through that port, I suspect. The sweepers are just walking with this one. It looks like it's staying a little wider on this rock as well. Now the sweepers are sweeping as they get to the hog line. Encouraged by their skip. Now called up. Got themselves a full 12 guards / third shot. So Pittsburgh is shot, Triangle is second shot. Pittsburgh is third shot up there in the top 12. And Lance says, nope, that one's got to go. He's calling for the hit.
Give me about hack weight.
Courtney, I would love it if Nick Datlow would join us here on the mics, but, you know, you can only do so much. He's been working very hard today. He's been in charge of the house most of the day, cleaning up trash, helping people out, doing what needs doing, bringing me dessert. I mean, they were very important things. So the fact that he can't join me on the microphone, I will forgive him for, particularly since he delivered dessert.
Up.
Lunch was great, by the way. You guys should come by and eat.
Okay, no jam.
Lunch was fantastic.
And no jam. That was a good shot.
Nice one, Mike.
They were able to replace that yellow 12-foot rock with a triangle one. So now Pittsburgh still is sitting first shot on the back of the 4 foot. But Triangle is
way too fast.
second and third.
Mike's are curling a lot more than yours are.
They're discussing.
I know he's putting hardly any spin on it at all, or
they're trying to figure out why some rocks are curling more than others. They haven't.
I've been throwing big weight on my feedback.
right.
Lance and Sue chatting
Even on
in the
draw
back of the
shots,
house
his are
there.
coming in more than yours.
That's going to be game over on sheet C, bringing the rocks back. The Broom Shooters Columbus Curling Club team has defeated Team Burke from Virginia. Lance calling for the tap. Just going to promote that red rock they just put in place. I would like to note that the Burke rink did score in the 4th end.
Tad wide, but it might
so
work to our advantage. No.
And I don't know what happened in the 5th because they haven't hung it, but I just want to let you know that it was not a shutout out there on sheet C.
Holy moly.
And that red rock held out just a little wider than expected, and it's rather a bit heavier than they expected. But, you know, both of those red rocks are going to stick around in the back. So
we'll try it again.
Pittsburgh continues to sit pretty well protected on the back 4 foot. And the other 3 rocks currently in the house at the top and back 12s and biting the 8-foot, 12-foot line in the back are all triangle rocks. So Pittsburgh is 1, triangle is 2, 3, and 4. And Daphne Roberts is sliding out at the broom for Pittsburgh. She's throwing vice, and that is their second vice rock for Pittsburgh. Triangle has hammer in this end, the 5th end. All right, so they've just guarded up
Still
that.
makeable, but a tough angle. Let's try it again,
Guarded
Sue.
up that left side of the house, but that doesn't really guard what they need to get to. So they're still going to try again for that tap up, tap back, run back. Sue's all business, ready to go.
Line's good. Yep.
Lance likes the line,
Sweep
calls the
it.
sweepers on.
Hard.
Calling for hard sweeping, trying to hold that line for that angle.
Oh, darn.
It over-curled more than they had in mind. And wrecks on the guards up front. There's a lot of guards up there to wreck on. And they're finding them right now. Oh. We've got some fancy fade camera effects going on, courtesy of Lori Piper.
It's okay. This is just practice game number 2.
Poor Lance. He's having a good time down there chatting with Sue, but he says that this is his practice game number 2. But I think Sue is correcting him. You know, it's a little
Well, he's
early
taking
to be
away
saying
my,
that. Let's
run
get
back,
this
angle
together.
Run back on that side. So, I mean, it's still, I don't know how much separation.
Out on
is in
sheet
those rocks.
D, the
Doesn't look like enough, though.
Medlin Rink from Potomac has scored in the 4th end. So the score out on sheet D is the Chicago Curling Club
Try the run back on the center rock, at
6,
least clear the
and
center line.
the Potomac Curling Club Midland Rink up has 1. So
Risk
6 to
it
1
back, but it's not
in the
like
5th.
It's going to burn us or anything.
Paul Schultz in the hack, shooting his first skip stone for Pittsburgh. Triangle having the hammer.
Let's keep going. Plug the hole.
Really trying to put up some more protections here, protect that yellow rock. Looks like that's going to be a pretty good rock. It
Okay, well, he's not doing anything of that.
didn't
We're
really
not doing
change
any of that.
anything. Maybe
Clearing
made the
center line
approach
is
to
probably all
that
we got
tap
right
back
now.
a little harder,
He'll
but
put another guard up, but
it's just another
depends
guard
where he's
right
gonna
now.
go. What are our options on these red ones? That's doable. Yeah. Give it a shot?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. So I need to come at it with a bit of weight. And it's going to hold relatively straight out there. So
Looks like they've got a measure out on sheet A.
I need to hit it here.
Reporting the results
Give me
of
the
the
berm there.
11:15 draw, Tim Harwood. I would be
Okay.
delighted to do that. I'm going to have to look and
Say a
see who
small
actually
prayer.
won. So give us just a moment. We will research that for you. I was eating lunch and drinking, so I didn't actually notice who won those games. But if you'll give us a moment, I will research that for you. Let's just
You got a
finish this
small
end
prayer,
out,
now's
and
the
then
time.
I'll swing down there during the early
We're gonna
part
do
of the
the,
next end
double
and bring
raise
you that
run back,
report.
whatever you want to call it. Nothing else will free up some rocks there. I think if I just clear the center line, he's just going to put another guard on it. So might as well get radical.
Lance is feeling like he needs to get radical here on this end. His first skip stone. He's throwing some weight this time. Sue's calling their sweepers on right away.
Mile.
not happy with his line, but Sue's going to see what she can do to make something out of it. Looks like she's going to clear a guard. Clear a couple guards.
Well, it gives us more options.
Okay. As Lance says, it gives him more options. Shuffles things around a little bit.
Did I miss it by a mile?
Well, yeah, I had to call sweep right away.
Yeah. Wide out turn, heavy shots. So he's just going to plug the hole, or is he going to put one top four? Top four would be risky.
So that shot rock is wide open right now, so I suspect Paul Schultz is just going to try to cover it up, protect that rock, because honestly, if they don't do that, there's a shot for 3. Paul's sliding out for his last stone of this end. Triangle has one more rock yet to come. Sweepers are discussing the weight, decide to come up. Now they're sweeping at the end, trying to drag that rock over just a bit more towards the center line, trying to get across the center line if they can to cover that rock. That was a good guard.
So we can run the red one back.
Wound up with a nice center line guard,
Be nice
perfectly plugging that hole that had been there. Lance
I don't want to run the center one back into the yellow because that'll most likely jam.
Lance trying to figure out how to get in there and get that, at least get a point, but at the very,
Well, I've already taken one practice shot at it, right?
Gonna try again for the run back.
I came across it way too much.
Tap back.
And I was shooting for here. I ended up going here. So maybe I need to impact it here. There.
It's a lot of specific this and that here and there is going on out there. That's got to be a very precise angle to get this run back.
Okay, angle run back again. This time we don't have to do a double raise on there.
So they've simplified the process. It doesn't need to be a double tap back. It's just a single run back.
Yeah, that last one I went to the outside.
Lance has slid out and released the hammer. Sue Mitchell held up her hand for halfway down the sheet, but now she's calling the sweepers on. Yes, 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 trying to get the angle for this run back. It's close. Not quite. Just wrecked on all those guards up there. Too many guards to get through. And that's going to be a steal of 1 for Pittsburgh. All right, I'm going to go research what happened in the 11:15 draw so I can report back for Tim Harwood and anybody else who was interested. We're going to keep the cameras rolling, and I'll be back to the mic in just a moment.
It's a little wide. cow.
Okay, thanks for your patience. I am back. I've got your scouting report for what happened in the 11-15 game. Of course, our featured sheet is sheet B. So that game is actually going to be on our archive on live stream, so you should be able to go back and watch that. That was actually a really good game. Team Hewer from Potomac beat Team Paraj. I can't pronounce that one. It's B-A-R-A-G-A-S. I'm not going to take a guess at that one, but I believe they're a mixed team from at least part of them from San Francisco. So Team Hewer won on sheet B on the featured game. Go back and watch that one. It was a humdinger. On sheet A in the 11:15 a.m. draw, the Stupera rink from Schenectady beat the Robinson rink from Pittsburgh.
Just her weight, I want it over here.
In the 11:15 a.m. game on sheet C, the Hotra rink from Dallas-Fort Worth Curling Club beat the McCartney rink
looking pretty,
from CCVA.
Sure it's buried.
And finally, the sheet D game at 11:15 a.m. was Team Curtis winning versus the San Francisco Bay Area / Madison Curling Club rink of Jim Muyo. And I believe those are our opposition for this afternoon's game, Lori. The San Francisco / Madison rink will be our featured game versus Team Hanabi, skipped by Vernon Marr at 4 p.m. here on this featured game.
I hope they're tired.
I think they've had time to rest, recover, and have lunch, so I don't know that we can count on that. We're going to actually have to find our game today.
I looked everywhere for our game, and I couldn't find it.
Right down
I had hoped you found it because it wasn't in my house.
It was not in my house.
Well,
I looked in the closet and everything.
We'll just have to see how it shakes out at 4 p.m. Tune in. It'll be exciting. Not as exciting as this webcast, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, this webcast is very exciting.
It has been. All right, so where are we at in this end? Okay, it looks like we are finishing the... oh, we're into seconds rocks already. How exciting.
You can give it a little tap, it'll be good. Nice shot, Mike.
Well, that's a nice shot. Gonna freeze down to the pile there. Let's see if I can get the warm room button pusher to push my buttons again. Not working. I'm gonna have to start throwing things. Pardon me. Could you push the button for me, please? Thank you. All right, now I can see the overhead view, so I can confirm that currently, ooh, that's a tight one. It's hard to tell who's shot, actually. There in the 4 foot, we've got Pittsburgh and Triangle close and closer. I think Triangle has it, but it's hard to see even from the overhead view. That fisheye lens is not precisely in the center, so it's sometimes really hard to tell. I see we're building a little Christmas tree of rocks in the house. This could get exciting when somebody decides to shuffle the deck.
Just give it a tap, Mike. Give it some separation.
Here we go. We're going to tap it, get some separation. Let's see what happens when we move these rocks around. And you're very welcome, Tim. It was my pleasure. I should have rounded that information up in advance, but as I said, I was busy with the whole lunch and drink thing. So hopefully they're also updating that on our webpage. I have not obviously looked to see if they have. That webpage, everybody should know because you got here from there most likely, but it's curldc.org. And there is a link for the draw as well as to this live streaming. This is going to curl just a little more than they think they wanted.
Okay, good one.
But they did shuffle the deck around a little bit. And Paul is not shy about just adding to the pile here. He's wanting to freeze to the top. Daphne looked like she might have been just a little bit tight to that broom, although, again, I don't have the right angle for it to really say that. But the sweepers are on this right away. Got to go for the weight, it looks like. Got to finish it if they want to get frozen to the pile. Looks like some good sweeping today. All right, so they came down to the top 12, bite half on the rings. It's actually a good spot. I think if Triangle had hit that pile just right, they would have been sitting 2.
Pop this one into here.
So they're going to have to.
Back 8, wait.
Lance is trying to keep these rocks in play because, of course, you need rocks to score points, even if they are kind of the wrong color for a minute. So he's calling for just a back 8 weight tap back just to try to shuffle this thing around a little bit more, see if he can get a more advantageous angle to work with. Oh, thank you, Tim. I'm sure we will get them posted for you. Just a jostle. That's right, Chip. Just a jostle.
Yes.
This looks like it's, again, moving more than they're expecting, or maybe they're tight. I'm not sure which. But they're going to pick off that top one and move things around. Okay. Shuffled the deck nicely, jostled them a bit. Currently, although it's rather early in the end here, I guess, the Pittsburgh rink is sitting 2. I don't know what you're going to do. You can't guard everything. Oh, he's going to try. He's going to try for a pancake guard. Those are my favorite ones. Those are the ones that you put up the guard and then you pull the plug and let the rock deflate to become wider, somehow taking up more room. You don't throw pancake guards, Lori?
I don't know what a pancake guard is.
I totally made that up, but that's how I describe them. You know, the guard that has to cover everything, so you have to magically make the rock bigger. But he did call for a centerline guard. Let's see if Daphne can deliver that for him. Sweepers are just eagerly waiting the opportunity. They're talking each other down. They keep taking turns wanting to sweep, and the other one calls each other off. I think that's a good call because he's going to come right on down to the pile again.
Nice shot.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Okay. Right into the top 8. This is a very busy house compared to what we've seen so far.
Mess. Let's bust them up a little bit, Sue.
Time to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah? Okay. Gonna give it some weight.
All right, they're calling for an up weight hit. Sue asked for less ice, so she's planning to bring the heat, and she brought the heat. Let's see how we do here. And the sweepers are on it. Trying for a double. All right.
Looks good.
Nice shot.
Looks better, I should say.
Removed 1 rock from play. Pittsburgh still sitting 1 and 2. Sue not entirely happy with that, how that worked out, but it was a pretty good shot.
Kind of straightens out. Well, there's that fall on the ice after the hog line.
Evidently, the topography of sheet B is a little complex.
No.
I'd like to say that I'm learning from them, but I'm playing front end on my rink, and so's Lori. So the fact that we're studying sheet B here is not really going to be that helpful. Actually, no, Lori's vicing. She can have some input. I hope she's been paying attention to that and not just the camera buttons. Nope. Oh well. We're out of luck.
We'll wing it.
We'll wing it. That's perfect. That worked out well for us in the first game.
I can pile drive in from the left. Yeah. Well,
all right.
Put one up front
So
of that.
Paul has place the
Freeze to
broom and
my
is
red one.
sliding down to deliver his first rock of this 6th end for Team Pittsburgh.
That could create some magic.
Lance is looking for magic still.
Yeah.
Magic Jones, of course, a great curler. I'm not sure that's who he's actually calling for. Magic curls out of Potomac. She and her sister Kathy.
But they're stealing us to death in this game.
Paul's rock is out of his hand and underway. The sweepers are on it almost immediately after consulting their clocks. Looks like that was a good choice. It's going to be a lovely guard. I suspect it's not going to get much past a 2, though. All right, nice rock. Came almost back to the center line, protecting that red tap back option, which is, that would be a fun shot if you didn't have that rock.
Encore.
If he hadn't put that guard there, I would have loved to come down and just hit that red rock and
into us as the encore.
Flipped over and done a double
first act,
hit. I don't even know what you call that one. It would be exciting. But now there's a yellow rock. That's a beautiful guard right there in the way. So nice shot by Paul Schultz. Tim, I'm looking forward to Vernon wearing a mic as well. I'm sure he'll give you that shout out.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm hoping that Vernon is no longer responding online because he should be headed to the club at this point. Our game is scheduled for 4, although I don't think it's going to start at 4 based on the fact that this is the 6th end. The games are not timed, although we're encouraged to play promptly.
I got to hit that rock on the outside.
So unless something tragic happens here on the 6th, I suspect that our game may not start at 4, and that's okay.
So that one right there, this one has to contact with here, and then I have to hit it about there. Okay, which means I need about that much ice. I think it's going to come in a lot.
All right, so they're talking about the double angle promote takeout. That would be magic. I like magic.
We're going to do something interesting.
Lance goes back to his team and says,
those 2 reds in, so like a double raise run back.
Double raise run back.
Twist, half gainer.
I don't know if you hear that.
With special sauce.
With special sauce. Yeah. Excellent.
The special sauce is what's going to do it.
It is. I always love it when my skip comes back and says, we're going to do something interesting.
If I'm going to get this end, I have to do that one first, and then the next one I have to run him back into us.
He's trying to set himself up for some points here. This one is... Sue's called the sweepers on about halfway down the ice.
Coming in.
She's calling hard. Okay. Nice shot. That was a great shot. He did exactly what he wanted to with the special sauce.
Okay, that's act 1. I got to do an encore.
Well done.
Thanks.
A nice shot.
Very nice shot out there. Just a final score for you over on sheet A. That game has concluded. Pittsburgh also made the scoreboard with 1 point. The final score, well, let's just say that Long Island Curling Club defeated the Dan Bliss Pittsburgh rink on sheet A. But again, not a shutout. None of the other games were shutouts, I have to say. So they looked a little grim for a while there, but everybody got on the board. And sheet D is still playing. That, of course, being the Chicago rink versus the Midland Potomac rink.
You know what else you can buy, Patrick?
Kurt Midland.
Patrick, buy yourself a new broom head, dude. This was brand new. You ever cleaned it or something?
Well, that was from last night.
All right.
There's that thing out there. I got a hot scrubber. Get yourself a carbon fiber drink. No, we don't need carbon
right, Paul Schultz is going down to throw his last rock.
Maybe not bragging about our strength, but he just likes the girth. I do like the girth. Well, I don't think they're
Pittsburgh is still sitting 1 at the moment. So I suspect they are going to throw the good old guard to guard. Or maybe tap their guard and make it a closer guard. But either way, I don't think they want to open this up. They want to leave it nice and blocked up here. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're throwing another guard into this mess of guards. Just try to protect their shot rock, trying for yet another steal. That was a nice throw. Nice high guard.
My next trick.
I know. Don't them dogs.
I'm going to increase Lance's mic here, so you can hopefully hear him discuss his options. Sue's out front of the house looking at the options from the shooter's perspective.
If I want to try for 1, I can hit that one and that into here. If I want 2, or possibly 3.
Well, maybe a little bit.
You can't tell, it's working.
I don't think that's doable.
Possible, actually, it's working. She hasn't turned completely 3 shades of red yet. Got a shade.
Lance would love to find a way to get in here for some multiple points, but that second,
It's there, it's just more difficult now. I'd have to hit this rock here.
Let's talk about
Yeah. I mean, we're down 4, so we could use a big end. We give up 1, we give up another 1. All right, I just got to figure out how to get there.
They're trying to figure out how to make this work for multiples. They're thinking that the swing is important. If they give up 1, they give up 1.
Straight. Actually, it cuts after the hog line, so it's going to run straight right before it.
They're
So I
talking about
almost
running
need-
back 2 of the yellow guards
There. What do you
onto their
think?
red
Just
rock
slightly
to then
outside of this
move
blue
out
line.
the other red, the other yellow rocks. Ooh, that's busy.
I don't know, I got to come at it hard enough to do this.
It's gonna need some weight. to
Is
move
that
many.
too little ice, too much ice? Yeah. Well, is that true? Is that a port we can get through? It is. But like you said, risk reward. I mean, that's a bigger risk trying to do a double run back.
It's threading a needle. It's there.
So they feel like there is a port there, but it's tight. Maybe that's better than doing the double
try it?
angle run back
right.
with 2 guards that
This
aren't
right
your
in the
own.
needle? That's not enough ice, you think? All right.
Vernon has made it to the club, everyone. This is exciting.
We decided to play thread the needle.
So this one doesn't have special sauce. This is threading the needle. Sue calls the sweepers on right away, calling for hard, hard,
Yeah,
and then calls them up, and then back on. Try for the run back as a plan B. Didn't work out. Okay. So Pittsburgh has stolen 1. So it's going to be 6-1 after 6 ends.
That was a very difficult end.
Lance proclaims that a difficult end. That was there was a lot of rocks in play there. A lot of rocks in the house.
It's like a pie chart and a diagram to go with it.
Almost had an extra sweeper out there. Yeah, Bonspiel chairman, I think, thought we were finishing the 8th and not the 6th, so she was ready to clean out the hack and get things moving. But it is just the start of the 7th, so we're going to continue into extra time here on the clock, but certainly not in the ends. There's still some game to be played here. That's good. I'm on the 4 o'clock game, but I'm not awake yet, so I don't mind them taking a little extra time, playing another couple ends here, give you more time to wake up. I'm a little surprised that Pittsburgh's not just throwing this rock through. They're throwing it in, which I suppose is just as well. They're working on their draws. That was a beautiful shot right to the top forward.
Interesting visual.
It's all about delivery. All about timing.
Lance, of course, opting for offense, trying to put up a corner guard to start building some points. Kate slid out and delivered that first stone of the end for Team Triangle. And the sweepers have not quite dragged that rock far enough. It did not quite make the hog.
We don't know for sure yet. We're going to try to do a 2-day thing.
Leonard sliding out with the second lead rock for Team Pittsburgh here in the 7th end. The rock that's currently in the house for people who may have looked away for a second is yellow. I know you're working with a black and white view. So they're just going to guard up that yellow rock and maybe come into the top of the house. Let's see where that stops. Okay, nice. Nice 3 guard. Lance calling for the freeze to the shot rock that's currently at the top of the 4-foot.
I don't know, the next board meeting we're going to have some decisions to make. That's for sure. I might go give you a number on the weekend, so that's the other problem.
He looks like she might have been a little bit narrow in that shot.
Oh, this ain't going to be pretty.
Try to convert to the open draw.
Good one.
Sweepers never touched that one. Looks like it's just a little bit heavy. It's going to slide through the back. Just barely.
So we've got a little bit of triangulation going on, but I think it's, I mean,
Little overcorrection. Easy to do.
It's a little deliberate. I think it might be a tiny bit deliberate. You know, they're both bad communicators, so the two of them together, like, it's like, you know, it's because Mike's just one of the guys, just like kind of just abrupt and kind of rude, and Rich is just, I mean, yeah, I can't describe it. It's just, you know,
Sweepers are on this rock here right at the hog line. Dragging it deep, trying to take it deep in the house. All right, so Pittsburgh has 2 rocks in the house now. One's in the top 4, the other one's in the back 8. They also have a center line guard very tight to the house. Just the left of the center line.
Let's just hold them straight. Yeah, no. It's going to go in between anyways. Just a matter of how deep. No.
That rock did not quite get to either yellow rock, unfortunately. It's going to stick around in the back of the house. The very, very back 12. So Triangle has the 3rd shot rock in the house. Pittsburgh has 1 and 2. Paul Schultz wasting no time in calling his next rock. He has a pretty house for his team to work with at the moment. He's just going to try to protect what he's got. See if they can continue their stealing run. Sweepers are working hard to drag that rock over the hog and up, giving him a nice 2-3 guard.
Clear him out, Mike.
It is a well-protected center line. Lance doesn't like that, says clear him out.
Nope, 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 nope.
Lance calling the sweepers
Here
up,
it comes.
waiting for that rock to move. It should break late.
Yes.
All right, the line was good. Not quite enough weight to pop that rock out the back, though. So Pittsburgh is sitting 1, 2, and 3. Triangle has the 4th rock in the very back, 12-foot. That did open things up a bit. I don't think Paul Schultz is going to leave it that way. Daphne is going to try to plug up the hole that was just created. Sweepers are on that one right from her hand. Paul calls them off about halfway down the sheet. Sweepers want to continue, and he lets them go. Sweepers sweeping the rest of the way. And it's over, and it'll be a 1.5 guard, 2 guard, 1.5. Nice shot, does its job.
Right back, Sue.
They've now re-blocked up that center line. They're making it tough on the Lance Wright team from Triangle. Pittsburgh has been playing very well in this game. Sue Mitchell launching a rocket down the ice.
Yep.
Called for sweeping, but only half the sweepers can actually keep up with the rock well enough to sweep. And as always with this game, safety first. So cleared out one of those 2 rocks. It does leave the shot rock exposed. Daphne Roberts back in the hack to try to cover it back up again. Hi, Rhonda. So nice to see you online. Thank you for the good curling wishes this afternoon. We appreciate it. Oh, by the way, I owe you a soda from Chesapeake. I used your drink card when I was there recently. So thanks for the soda. It was for the Maca. I figured you wouldn't mind.
Good shot.
All right, nice 3 guard on the center
Try
line.
this combo, Sue.
Lance looking to move multiple yellows at this point. Sue Mitchell does not mind throwing the heat, so let's see how this shakes out. She's launched some heat.
Yep.
Calling for sweeping. The sweepers are able to keep up with this one. It's still
1.
moving with authority. All right, that moved some yellow, all right. Well done. That cleared out 2 guards and moved things around in the house. Oops, sorry for whacking the mic there with my thumb. Trying to remember to keep it close enough to my face, but you know, every now and again you gotta have another drink, so. So Team Schultz is trying to cover up that very exposed shot rock, but they actually were not able to get quite over to the center line this time. So that rock at the top of the forefoot is exposed, as are the other yellow rocks to the right. There's Pittsburgh sitting 1, 2, and 3. Triangle seems to be in their favorite, well, not their favorite place necessarily, but the place they keep going, which is the back of the 12-foot.
All right.
Why, thanks, Catherine. That's Catherine Koslick out there in chat land. Oh, I don't know, Chip. I don't think I'm ready for chip chat. Maybe we can talk about that over drinks one day.
Bless you. We're just going to knock that guy out to the backside.
Of course, if you're wondering what things I'm talking about and you can't figure it out, look for the chat window in the live stream broadcast. If you sign in, you can chat with everybody else in the chat room there, and we're trying to keep an eye on that. Lance's rock is away. Sue calls the sweepers up, waiting for that rock to move. Needs to break to the left. It's going to start curling. Will it curl enough? It's starting to look good. It's starting to look good. Watch the jam.
Okay.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
All right, so that rock is still exposed, and I expect that Paul is going to just go for the hit. He's been throwing all guards lately, so we'll see how his hit weight is doing. All right, rock is away. Plenty good hit weight. Let's see how they do with the line. The sweepers are just running with the rock. No broom down yet. Looks like it might be just a bit wide. They're going to get the hit and roll out, leaving Pittsburgh sitting 2.
And we'll make the double on these guys.
And Triangle has hammer shot coming up.
Without taking our own rock out. I need to almost nose that. We need to keep it here. Take off of this one.
Trying to figure out how to get the double without accidentally taking their own rock out in the back. See if they can get multiple points. They do need some points here to keep in this game. Thank you.
All right.
Nick Datlow continuing his hard work today, comes to check to see if I need anything while I'm broadcasting. Thank you, Nick. You're a hard worker, man. Thank you, thank you.
Give me the same ice then for that turn for where we want to smack it. Try the double. We need to almost nose it, just slightly off nose to the center.
All right, Lance is getting set to release the hammer shot here in the 7th end at the Cherry Blossoms. I don't know what draw we're at. This is a second event game.
No.
Okay, had to make the best of it. They weren't able to get the double, but they also didn't muck things up. So Triangle was able to pull a point out of that. They haven't scored since the second end, so it's probably a relief to get another point on the board, but it does leave them in kind of tenuous spot here coming home in the 8th. The score being 6-2. Triangle needs to steal 4 for the tie to force an extra end.
Right up front, Kate.
Lance calling for the center line guard from Kate. Sweepers are working hard to hold this one out, drag it as far as they can. It's going to be on the center line as they requested, and about a 2 guard. Nice shot for Kate. Good work for the Sweepers. Nice team rock, that one. Leonard sliding out and delivering yellow lead rock for the Pittsburgh rink. Looks like they're trying to reposition that center line guard. I think they may wind up removing it. Yep, they're gonna have a free guard zone violation and place the yellow rock, or the red rock back, and remove the yellow rock from play. I'm sure we have a mostly curling audience here, but just in case we don't, the first 4 rocks of the end, if they are guards, which is to say in play but not in the house, in front of the house, those are protected rocks and cannot be removed from play by the opposition. The skip of the red rock that had been hit gets to replace the red rock to his satisfaction.
Hang on. Yeah, we'll do it that way.
And he has done so. The offending rock that did the hit is removed from play. So all that means is essentially the yellow rock didn't happen, and moving right along. Kate throws her second lead rock of the end, of the 8th end. They want a guard. Looks like it might be a little heavier than that.
It's got a handle. No handle.
Might be a little bit heavy. Let's see if this sticks around in the house or not. And I think that is going to go through just a little bit.
That's a guard, right? You only put it back. No, seriously, you only put it back? Even if we knock out our own guard? Okay. Just check.
So the winner of this this game that we're watching right now will be playing on Saturday at 12:45 p.m. So they get to have a nice time tonight and no problems waking up in time for their game, presumably. The loser of this game will play at, let's see. They will play at 3 p.m. You know what? There's not a bad outcome as far as drinking tonight, having fun, partying. The earliest outcome is a 12:45 p.m. game or a 3 p.m. game, so not bad. They'll be able to be very social. So no more games for them today, one way or the other. They'll be able to shake off the loss or celebrate the win as appropriate and get themselves ready for their Saturday games, their Saturday afternoon games.
Keep it coming.
Lance encouraging his sweepers to drag that rock as far as they can. Gonna get a little bump rub and 2 corner guards, nothing biting. At this point, Pittsburgh just wants to run triangle out of rocks, so they're gonna hit anything red they can see. Those guards are no longer protected. The free guard zone rule is only good for the lead rocks. First 2 rocks of each team.
That's different.
That rock stayed just a little bit narrower than they expected, or wider, which was
just for laughs, Mike.
Wider, yeah. They stayed just a little wide and flashed that hit.
Probably need back 8 weight, maybe back 12.
They're looking to shift things around, looking for back 8, back 12 weight, trying to kind of bump both of these red rocks up.
Yep.
Calling for the sweep right away. Looks like it's got the weight, but they're trying to keep the line. Sweeping hard for the line.
Okay, up.
Okay. That was a pretty good shot. It didn't hit both of them, but both of their rocks stayed in play, and I think that this rock is going to be very nearly still full 12. It's biting the outside, but it's mostly in. It's a good shot. Triangle needs rocks. They kept both of theirs, all three of theirs with that play, so that's good. I'm going to try again on hitting this top red 3-guard. Called for a little bit of sweeping and then changed his mind. Looks like this rock is still got its force field in place. Remember, Triangle needs 4 points to tie, and they do not have hammer. So they're doing okay here, but they've got to keep working. They called for a top 12 rock. Trying for a guard / second point. Sue Mitchell delivering the Vice Rocks for Team Triangle. Sweepers are working.
Yep, it's got to be a biter.
Sweepers are working hard, trying to drag this rock.
Got lots of glides, well-used path. Should be able to get it in.
Lance encouraging them to sweep, sweep, sweep,
oh,
sweep.
You guys are weakening.
Okay, encouraging may not be the right word. That's a nice, tight, usable guard. But this is pretty much the line that Pittsburgh has been throwing down, like it or not. So they're going to try to take out that rock that was just put in place. Daphne delivering the Vice Rocks. Sweepers on right away. I don't think the force field is in effect. I think they're going to get one of them. Maybe two. All right, moved them both, but actually did not remove either one from play.
Try another one, Sue.
Triangle's still digging here. Can't protect everything. Lance is trying to figure out where to put it. They've decided for a biter on the center line. So they're going to try to get center line biter.
Now come in from the other side.
Triangle currently sitting
this
3.
One's probably in the way.
That could change, but right now, Triangle sitting 3. They need 4 to tie. Coming home without.
Yep, anything you want to be this side of center.
Rhonda, you're right. The warm room is pretty packed.
That's
it's not bad for the afternoon, and people are going to continue to pour in here. The next game is scheduled for 4 o'clock. We're going to be a little bit late. So we have the people that are waiting to go out on the ice, the people that were just playing the previous draw, people that are here early for dinner or late from lunch. It's a nice crowd. Friendly. The bar is delicious as always. And they were able to drag that rock onto the top 12. Nice shot. 4. They're sitting 4 right now. That's true. There's still a bunch of rocks to come here. Here's the second Vice Rock for Pittsburgh. And they do have hammer. Sue Mitchell did her job. She did what she could do, and we'll see what happens. Called for sweeping right out of Daphne's hand there. Sweeper's working hard. Working real hard to hold that rock. They did a nice job. Good shot. Going to take out 1.
Right,
Triangle
so
sitting 3.
There's access to the button. And we also need to make sure that if he noses this, we're still exploring. Don't put it there. Why?
Discussing where to place the rocks.
Well, he draws to the button eventually with a second shot.
Yeah, but on the first shot, he draws to the button. What do you like?
I like putting it, see if he noses it, if we got a biter up here and he noses it, he's still not out counting these 3.
Lance trying to make his 3 rocks
what I'm thinking.
count for what they can. So they're talking about putting a rock in the top
Now we can
12.
still do the raise, but then I've got an opportunity to do the run back. Let's come this way. It seems to be more consistent. What did I give you? You ended up right there, right? And I gave you here, but you pushed it wide. You were about here. So, all right. Here gets you to here. Therefore, here should get you to here, right? Yeah, okay.
I love curling
I
math.
just don't want to hit them.
Is that curling math?
Curling math.
It's not curling
It's
geometry?
like curling algebra.
If I'm over here, it's fine.
It's not
Oh,
geometry.
I need less ice.
No, it's
than
more
that.
like if x equals
It
2,
doesn't
then
come
y
as much this
equals.
way as it does that way.
Okay.
All
All right. So we've got some curling algebra for our broom placement here.
Top 12 biter. This
Looking
side.
for another top 12 rock. Top 12 biter
The block
he's
off
calling
access
for.
to the floor.
First skip stone here in the 8th.
Wow, there's a lot of crap on this rock.
Evidently there's some debris on the rock now, so he's cleaning it carefully. Rocks away, sweepers are on it. Sue's calling whoa if you can, but the sweepers know they've got to get it to the top 12, so they don't want to come up. Sweepers are working
Let's make the
hard.
hard line.
Looks like they're going to have to work real hard. They just take it across the hog line. So he had a practice shot for his draw, assuming he gets to do that next. Of course, Pittsburgh has the hammer in
much a
this
biter
end,
weight.
so I guess you probably know that by
I
now.
had my perfect weight. This game, not so good.
Yes, they have started selling raffle tickets.
Shoot,
Catherine
one
Kozlik, the raffle looks awesome. I haven't taken a close look yet, but I see that there's some beautiful knitted curling themed hats. I know that there was a knitting competition among the knitters of the curling club trying to come up with the best design, and they're going to base the winner of that based on who gets the most raffle tickets in their cup. So that's pretty exciting, and there's some other great prizes. I haven't had a chance to really peruse them closely, but I'll be doing that later on tonight to really admire the hats and other items in the raffle and buying my share of tickets. That raffle drawing, of course, won't be until Saturday evening, so you have plenty of time to get by the curling club and purchase some raffle tickets. Pittsburgh sweeper have been working very hard as well. They're tapping up that yellow guard, but it is open. So they're going to have to knock that yellow one out and
coming
stick
that way too
around
much,
for
are we?
sit and 4,
So
and then see what
if I
happens
nose
with
it,
the
fine.
Pittsburgh hammer
Otherwise,
shot.
on the inside, I just do not
It's the
want
only
hit
way
that.
to get through this. You're going to need to make a good shot here and see what happens. A couple of flashes early in this end for Pittsburgh have enabled Triangle to continue to be throwing rocks here to the very end of the end, which I'm not sure I would have expected going in. So you just never know. Sometimes it's see what develops, work the end. Lance's rock is away. Sue calls the sweepers on right away. She's encouraging them, yelling hard, yes, yes. Now she calls them off. That's a good sign. Let's see if the rock sticks around. The shooter rolls out. So he made the hit, but Triangle is only sitting 3 here, so long as Sue trying to shake hands. But looks like Pittsburgh is gonna shoot the rock. Vices have shaken. And he's throwing his rock away. So that will be game, although great job coming back from that deficit to lose by only 1 point. The final score is going to be 6-5. And that was a good game. Lori Piper, great job on the cameras. Thank you so much for that. We're going to go offline for a little while we prep the ice for the somewhat late 4 p.m. draw. Please tune back in and cheer on Gloria and myself and the rest of our team, and you can even cheer on our opposition because they seem like really fun people too. Just tune back in and watch some more curling this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us.